We tried the Wi-Fi. Neither Marcia nor I could connect with Toontown 69 exclamation mark. It would not connect us to the Wi-Fi.
Let me, yeah, it's capital TOWN, capital TOON 69 exclamation point.
Capital TWOON, capital TOWN 69 exclamation mark.
No, town. So capital TOON, capital TOWN 69
Okay.
exclamation point.
Right, I put that in and it didn't like it.
Huh.
So I'm on my phone and I can barely hear you, but I don't really have to hear you. I don't think, right?
I can hear you perfectly.
Hey, Jude, are you there?
Jude's muted.
Huh?
Jude is muted.
Oh, Jude. Jude, can you unmute?
I just muted, but the thing is, if you're not on.
Oh man, I can't hear you. Listen, this is really horrible. I'm gonna try one more time to log in on my computer.
Okay.
Just as she said. I'll try one more time.
Michelle, can you text him? Michelle, can you text him the password?
I did.
Oh.
We've been trying this for 10 minutes now.
The town of Woodstock, is that what we're logging in?
Yes.
Something else that I'm not saying.
No, town of Woodstock.
What?
Town of Woodstock.
Oh, now you're coming over. Oh, speak again, please.
Town of Woodstock. That's the one that you have to use. Can you hear me? Gordon, can you hear me?
Yes. What?
Michael's here. Oh.
Really, gentlemen. I'm getting loose. Oh, it's Mike. Oh, well, your volume's good. You can hear from Michelle. Michelle, can you? Michelle.
I can hear everybody. Michael's
That's a
muted
little
though,
better.
and Joe is muted. But I think Joe does that on purpose.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Okay. You want, we can use it. My volume off.
Is Marcia there too?
I'm here, but I'm fine on my computer.
It's all good. As long as the three of you are there, it's all good. Is the applicant there?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, wait, I'm connected. Yeah.
Marcia, you're muted. Oh, there
Okay,
we go.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Maybe we should use my.
That's computer and phone feedback.
Can you turn yours down? Okay.
Because it's the phone and the, can she hear us?
I can hear you with a lot of feedback.
Is your phone on?
My phone's on, turn it off.
Turn Zoom off.
Hi.
Hey?
I'm trying to get off of it. Ah,
There you go.
I'm turning my phone off.
I can mute you, Marcia. You can stay on.
Is somebody feeding back there?
Okay, perfect. I can hear everybody.
Get their stuff up.
Good.
All right.
All
Nice.
good.
Hey, Martin, how you doing? Welcome aboard.
Good, thank you.
Trying to make things smoother than this, but you know, with this Zoom stuff and
I feel ya. It's
Yeah.
nice to meet you.
well, listen. Did you get my email? We'll speak after the case. I'm going to open up the public hearing, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Sounds good.
When they start up, I'll turn this around so you can listen to the gentleman speak.
Okay,
After they speak, if there are any questions, you know, and please participate as much as you feel comfortable doing so. Okay, so with that, here's my cheat sheet. I would like to call the September 9th, 2021 Zoning Board of Appeals meeting of the town of Woodstock to order. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We have a quorum. I think we have more than a quorum. We have a full house. So
our first full house of the year.
yes. So with that, I would like to offer the minutes for approval for August 26th, 2021. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Hands everywhere. And we'll get right to it. We have a public hearing tonight. ZBA case number 21-20, application of 4345 Mill Hill Road, LLC, Douglas Ballinger, as represented by Nicholas Ballinger, 4345 Mill Hill Road, Woodstock, New York, 12498, for property located at 4345 Mill Hill Road, Woodstock, New York, a 0.37 acre parcel located in an 8C, Hamlet Commercial, zoning district for a variance from the zoning law of the town of Woodstock, Article 5, supplementary regulations, 260-31D123, sign regulations, in order to allow 3 additional wall-mounted signs with an aggregate area of 50 square feet where only 1 sign is allowed. Gentlemen, now how much you can see yourselves in the little window there? And everybody tell me if you can hear the gentleman when they begin speaking. Go ahead.
Everything's perfect.
Okay, great.
Thank you, everyone on the board, for taking the time to see us this evening. We really appreciate it. The reason we're before you this evening is because when the coronavirus shut down the entire state and most of the country in March of 2020, we shut down our businesses, obviously, as well. And we were closed March, April, May. And during this time, we were kind of in a dark period where we thought we didn't know what the future held. And we wondered, all we really know now is that we're not supposed to touch and we're not supposed to be close to one another. And so my father, my brother, and I thought, well, we've got to reopen. We saw Bread Alone was open, and people were appreciative of that. And we saw businesses starting to change their business models. So the three of us got together and we kind of looked first thing to Woodstock, the town that I've been living in now for about 4 years, but we feel such a part of and lucky to be a part of. And we thought to look at the crest and look at the theater and the arts and the humor, and really we wanted to reopen, but we wanted to reopen in a way that was safe, but also beautiful and also handmade and personal to what we like to do as a family. That being said, we changed the front of the Mug Club and we erected 2 menus, one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side. And my father and I went in, and what we did was we took out our indoor seating. We had 3 indoor seats, not much, but what we did was we took that out and we repurposed our windows there to allow a ordering window and a pickup window. And that way we thought, okay, we can keep the people apart, but we've got to show them what we offer and the way to order. So we looked back and we said, well, let's make these signs, but we can't make signs, they're menus. They have to be beautiful. They can only add beauty to the experience that we want our customers to have. So the colors we chose were bright colors. My father, Douglas, hand did the signs. I do all the work on the computer and type it out, and then my father goes in and does it all by hand. So the bright colors we chose, we really wanted to enable people to feel brightness and warmth and welcome in this time. So fast forward now to today, and I've had a conversation with Mr. McKenna a couple months ago where he said, well, Nicholas, you know, all these changes that we enabled you to make by me making the emergency order are going to come to an end. So I wasn't served any paperwork or anything, but I met with my father, my brother, and I said, let's go before the town, let's get this all into order, and let's ask them for permission because we're scared and don't know what the future holds. But also our identity as the Mud Club has completely changed. And
So Nicholas, Bill McKenna contacted you about the signs?
yes, and said that there was a time coming to an end where these kind of free period of the coronavirus emergency order that was passed would come to an end. So
Thank you.
I met with Ellen and Cassiero, and I said, what can we do? So we're before you tonight to answer any questions and humbly ask, perhaps the town can ask us anything you have, but understand that these changes we made have really become a huge part of the Mug Club. We have never had an outbreak, most importantly with our staff, also with the community. We've always been able to kind of use this new repurposed frontage in order to allow what we have going. So my father and I are before you tonight to answer any questions and ask if the town would humbly accept these changes.
When you met with Ellen, what was the discussion there? What did she say to you?
She said that what is going to happen is that there's going to come a time when the colony, the pizza place, all the business in town have made changes, so they're going to have to come forward because this order will end. So I said, well, let's be preemptive about it, and you know, we really want to get ahead of the curve and come here and say, tell you guys and answer any questions of how amazing that is.
You did not receive an order to remedy or any type of violation? Or...
No, sir.
Does the code spell out sign for a business or additional signs like a menu like this, or?
There's room in the code that allows a display of an outside menu.
Okay.
Well,
Of a certain size.
it's usually in a window.
It's of a
Yeah,
certain
oh,
size.
Right.
4 square feet. But
Yeah.
one of the things I want to say is that I've watched the Mud Club be built from the beginning, and the amount of money and the time from where it started to where it is now, it has become a family destination where I drove by Labor Day weekend and kids were on the swings. And I think what Nick was saying was part of their identity is the artwork. If you walk down the pathway to Early Terrible, I know his father made all this artwork along the way. And there's also two businesses there. There used to be a big bright yellow Mud Club sign on the sidewalk that they did remove. So now all you have is the Mud Club sign and then two really artful decorated menus, which seems to go with the rest of the property with swings and artwork and chandeliers. And, I think it's a real asset to the town. And especially like I drove by this weekend specifically and saw kids on the swings. It's really become a family destination now.
Did we resolve the recusal issue?
Who was speaking?
What?
Marcia.
Was that Marcia?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did we resolve the recusal issue, Marcia, that you had raised that you might
I said
not?
I may not vote, but that I would chime in.
Well, wait a minute. That's not how recusal works. I mean, I don't mean to be a jerk about it, but if you're recused, you're recused. You don't participate. You don't.
I didn't recuse myself. I said that maybe I would recuse myself because I knew the owners. And then I talked to some people about it. And the truth is, it's a small town. I know practically all the owners of all the stores. So does that mean I recuse myself from every case that comes in here? This is new to me. So that's why I spoke up without talking to anybody. I've never
Okay,
met
well,
you.
just hold on a second. It was just a question.
No, it was a taunt.
I'm sensing a lot of emotion here. I like
Yeah,
to
I
keep
mean,
this,
I don't
wait,
think
hold on,
that's what
just please, let me speak.
1 second.
I really like to keep this board as emotionless as possible. I don't mean stow it or completely without any feeling, but, we want to hear the case presented by the owner, listened to by the thing, and then we can have this discussion, but there's just,
Okay, but I mean, I don't know whether recusal is appropriate or not because I don't know what the issue is. But if recusal is appropriate, it should be complete and there shouldn't be any participation, including comments. If it's not appropriate, then she should fully participate and vote. So.
No, unless this would be up to her because she doesn't know, unless she has a financial interest in the business or their family, this would definitely be up to her. But let's not make this case about Marcia right now. I would like them to stay on point here, please. Okay, this has gotten off the rails pretty quickly, and it doesn't seem like cases should be going in this direction. Okay, it's a pretty, okay, Jude, please.
Okay, so, all right, my understanding of how we normally function is that we hear from the applicants, then we see if there are any contiguous neighbors before we ask questions.
Exactly. Well, we ask questions. So we can ask questions of the owners.
Are there any neighbors present?
Now that I would like to get the questions to the owners first.
All right, so I have questions.
Okay. Would you like to direct them to the board or to the owners? I just want to know where to put the computer. Would you like to face the owners?
I think to the owners because it's questions about the
Okay.
application.
All right. So I'm going to turn you around here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, I'm Jude. So I'm trying to understand what your application is for. I walked by today, but it was kind of roped off. So I didn't get up close, but I was able to kind of look around a little bit. So basically what you're asking for, the variance is for the 2 menu boards. Is it for the order and pickup sign? Is it for the open sign? Is it for, I noticed there were 4 little Mud Club signs hanging off the ropes. I noticed there were probably at least 4 freestanding signs, and there was a sign on the road. So I'm trying to understand, what are you asking for a variance for? Because I noticed there were a lot of there was all kinds of signage, and I'm just wondering which one you are looking for the variance for.
Just the menu signs and the frontage of the Mud Club.
Just the menu signs in what?
2 menu signs on each end,
Right?
and then we have the Mud Club in the middle.
Okay, so are you not allowed that Mud Club sign?
I don't know exactly what I'm allowed. I'm just kind of want to.
And then the order and the pickup signs are not part of the application?
Yes, the frontage, the entire,
All of it.
yes.
Well, as it would turn out, what would fall under believe the regulations here would be the menu signs are larger than we allow. So we do have, so that would be, and it's mentioned to allow for 3 additional wall-mounted signs on the face of the building, total aggregate area approximately 50 square feet, as written by the, I believe this was written by the code enforcer.
So,
The bottom part saying what you're asking for here. It
So
says, variance for additional wall-mounted sign with business name aggregate area approximately 26 square feet, 8 square feet added to allowed 4 square foot for a menu board, 1 additional menu board, 12 square feet over the allowed 1. Excuse me.
That doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I was trying to.
No, yeah, it's a bit convoluted.
we'll have to see, this is written by the building and inspector.
Well, you have 4 square feet is allowed for the menu signs. They're obviously bigger than that. So it says 50 square feet aggregate, whereas here would be, well, we'd have to go through the exact measurement.
Specifically what it means. And then I had another question. And this is just a question, because I noticed this when these went up.
You want to just ask it here and I'll
Sure, yeah, you can translate it.
repeat it?
There are what appear to be birdhouses. I noticed when those went up a while ago, they're painted black and they appear to be birdhouses all along the sidewalk. Are they birdhouses? And then I'm just wondering what their function is. That's-
Birdhouses?
There's something that's mounted on poles that are painted black.
Birdhouses, he said.
Does this matter?
I'm just curious.
Oh, can we discuss this later? Can we discuss the birdhouses later?
I just wondered if they are birdhouses,
Yeah.
what their purpose was.
They're birdhouses. I'm seeing nodding heads. Birdhouses, yes.
Okay, and
With birds, yes.
the birds in them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was.
I'm nodding. You can't see me smiling either.
No.
My eyes are
All right, I
smiling.
was just curious about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Are there any other questions from the board right now? Joe?
Yes, I have a question, yes. Do you want me to ask it to you and then you could?
I think everybody can hear you. You're coming over quite well, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay, good. You mentioned in your introductory comments about the bright colors and I'm just curious, in your own explanation, how you think that fits into the existing character of the town. The bright yellow, the number of signs, the shapes of them.
I can answer.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
The bright yellow was, when we went into when we all got shut down, it was a dark period. And everything looked dark. And what we wanted to do was to add a little brightness, to add a little sunshine, bring a little happiness to the people. And we decided yellow was a good color to deliver that message. And we didn't pick the brightest yellow. We tried to pick a kind of a mustardy yellow. That's where the sunshine and the yellow came from.
And in regards to what part of the character of the town, I actually, my father and I often look at the Woodstock shield, the crest of the town, and it has the yellow accents on it. So we saw that, and all the handwriting's done by a pretty renowned artist himself. So I feel that fits in a sense to the spirit of Woodstock as an artist colony for so many years that welcomed us. So that was kind of how we thought it was really actually adding so much beauty and also efficiency and safety, most importantly.
So,
Thank you.
so I guess maybe my question then here is, Nicholas, is You were not here because of any official notification of violation of the law. You're here just to be ahead of this and ask for this to be allowed? Because, I mean, there may be other businesses within the town who have not come forward with their sign issues.
We're here out of respect for the town asking, we don't really know, we were given a kind of a carte blanche to make changes and reopen during the height of the virus. So what we really did was we adapted the virus now. We have several neighbors with neon signage, which I know is not allowed because we had a neon sign for one day 2 years ago, received a notice from the town and took it down within 20 minutes. I'm there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day with very few exceptions. My neighbor right next door has a big ordering sign sponsored by a Fortune 500 company. If you go up the road, there's new signage on everyone's frontage. So I basically wanted to be here today to really reflect that this to us is not signage. This is part of the identity and the efficiency and actually the operational model. So that's why I'm before you all today. And I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for your time.
I have a question for Joe, if that's okay.
Okay.
Joe, I have a question for you. Were you in town when Peter Max lived here? Or when the Purple Elephant was operating?
I've been a homeowner there for just 20 years now. So you'll have to tell me if that covered that time period or not. But I don't know if that's relevant. What I can say is that having lived in the town for 20 years and driven down that street every day, without judging it from any personal view, it definitely has a different look to me than most of the existing businesses that were there. And I'm assuming that's intentional. It's a way to distinguish themselves and market themselves and brand themselves. But it definitely looks different than almost any other business, last week when it came up, someone, referenced the pink dinosaur in front of the movie theater as sort of a comparison. So, I'm not judging it based on my own personal view, but I don't think it's a fair characterization to say that it's not somewhat of a different style and look than what has previously been in the town, at least from the 20 years I've been there.
Well, there have always been different places. The Purple Elephant used to have purple and all different colors with signs on the sidewalk saying Muddy Waters playing tonight. Peter Max lived here, so all those bright colors used to be a lot more prevalent. And I think you can't compare this property with other properties in town. The whole intention when they built, because I've seen it from when it was an attorney's office to now, is to make it whimsical. And if you go there and you look at all the details, it really is a whimsical artistic property that's unlike anything else other than maybe at the Bear and what Lizzie is trying to do with all the bright colored guitars and artwork and sculptures.
If I may, I'm going to try and reel this in again a little bit.
Gordon, I'm just going to go back to where Michael was at. When Ellen gave me the application, she mentioned that this was going to be the first one of many that were going to come in front of us. And just to take that into consideration.
No.
Because we don't know what's going to happen down the road.
No, that was a temporary thing. We're still in flux.
Right.
We all get that.
Yep.
Now, I just want to wait. Can I just finish, Jude? And then you're next, okay?
Yep.
We are discussing something. If you right now, Marcia and Joe, I'm talking about the character of the neighborhood. My first thought is Taco Juan. So, it's the character of the neighborhood is one element of this, but we're really here for the size of the signs. That's our primary focus on this right now.
Yep.
Now, you may let something like, art is subjective, and this is art. I will grant that. That may be part of what's going on, but I don't think it should be the crux of this whole discussion or what we're doing here. We're talking about the size of the thing and why, and we understand why they were granted the signs, the bigger signs right now because of the pandemic, and there were a lot of liberties taken during this time. So I think that, and with that, I will say, and then Jude asked this question, and I haven't really seen it mentioned, but what I'm seeing kind of too, and I can't ignore it, is that the order and pickup signs in the Mud Club and then the whole signs, it kind of creates a really large looking sign with the order and pickup and the Mud Club with all the yellow. And we've had there where people try to get really big signs. And in effect, it's kind of what's created. So that's just something I'm seeing. And I can't ignore that. I'm not saying whether the rest of what's been said, that's something different. I'm looking at the signage and what we have here and the amount of signage. So that's really what we're going to be focusing on here.
And if I may say one thing?
Oh, sure.
With the signs you just mentioned, we're in the middle of a pandemic that none of us understand. I mean.
No, I said that. No, I granted that. Yes, yes.
Absolutely, and not just.
But we're talking about moving forward if we get out of this
those
pandemic,
signs,
yeah.
They're they have such an efficient, process of allowing us to actually keep people separate from one another too. And one of the things that's special about our business, we do contactless payment. We don't require cash. They told us don't touch cash, don't
Right.
share. So we say cash, no cash, you pay it through the phone, but this is where you pick up and this is where you order. Just to say that they really are really important to us directing the customer as well.
Okay, I just wanted to mention that stuff. I'm going to say for the record that the sign issue in this town is a hot mess. I'm not going to pretend it's anything else but. And if we get thrown to us, everybody in town has two signs. You're not supposed to have two signs. Most 90% of the stores have two signs. They have one in the window, one hanging up. And I don't know, Butch is going to clean up all of this mess. I don't know. But, this is before it's not. I'm just taking it, but I am trying to take this all into consideration. And there is sort of like this thing where we can't just say, screw it, and let everybody do anything they want. So somewhere in all that, we're trying to find something, and we really, we don't want, and I appreciate, because a lot of people don't come before us and then they just do what they want and throw big signs up everywhere. And you come before us and that means something to me. So we're going to definitely try and work with you here to, get a solution, I think. But, just to understand where we're coming from, the laws we're dealing with, we're a quasi-legal board. We like to try and keep something, if we're granting a variance that makes sense, because that's what we're dealing with. With that bit of soapbox, anybody else? Joe? Oh, no, Jude had her hand up before. Let me.
Didn't have my hand up. I had a couple of things. One is that theoretically, Michael, somebody's supposed to come before us before they do something if they need a variance. So the fact that they weren't issued a violation doesn't mean that they're not supposed to be before the ZBA, right? I mean, you're supposed to, theoretically, if you want to do something outside the zoning law, you're supposed to come and ask. And I do understand it was pandemic and everybody was kind of given free rein to try to help businesses survive. I get that.
Right.
So I had a question about the Mud Club sign, the middle part of that sign. When you went through your planning board approvals and site plan review, which sign was approved? You had to have presented a sign along with your site plan and all the things that you were doing with the walkways and all that. And I was just wondering, what was the sign that was approved with your site plan?
Did you get that?
Yeah.
The original one.
It was a large bagel. It was a large bagel with a hole in it.
All right, I remember that sign.
Yeah.
Oh, the bagel, right, the bagel.
Big.
So that's gone.
The bagel. Do you remember the bagel?
I don't know.
Yep.
Remember the bagel? Yeah, there
Large
were,
bagel, but it was.
yeah.
And then when we decided we need to change it, it didn't fit too well. I came before the zoning board of appeals and the planning board and actually got permission for the other sign we then put up. And on this, I didn't catch your name, but The only reason, like other projects on the property that we've done, and you can look on the records with my name and date there, the only reason the signs that we weren't before you beforehand was because it was in the beginning of the pandemic. We actually all couldn't even meet back then. We didn't even figure out Zoom yet. But Mr. McKenna did reach out to me and other businesses in town, like the Colony, the pizza restaurant next to us with their signage. Across the street, they had tables in the parking lot. I mean, we all struggled so hard to survive. So I'm here before you today, a year and a half into this now, saying, you know what, we kind of have an idea, and we really realize how important this is to us being able to be open and be able to provide the truly Woodstock experience. I truly believe that it's such an amazing experience to come. So that's why I apologize. That's why we weren't beforehand here, because it was in that period where the town actually said, open, guys. And I really believe that Woodstock did such an amazing job with my other business owners in town. And, you know, I think it was really quite amazing that we did reopen in a safe manner. We never had an outbreak with our staff, which is so important to us. I work every day. My father works every day. He's an older gentleman. But, you know, it really worked for us, and we really kept it safe. So that's why we're before you this evening, Pam.
No, I understand. I was addressing more what Michael asked about the question about if you've been issued a violation. That's all. I do understand that you had that.
Thank you.
Joe, you wanted to say something?
I had a question maybe for you, Gordon, or Michelle, or maybe Jude knows. Does the variance for the sign, if we were to grant it, stay with the property, or is it with the business?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. It stays with the property.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the board? Okay, so with that, I would like to go to the public.
Open the public hearing.
Yes. So we have Anthony Tampone and Michael Anello of 871 Elting Road, Rosendale, New York.
I think they've sold that property.
Yeah, they did.
What?
They've
They sold that property.
Okay, well, I'm just reading through the list. Only one person here. I'm just doing this as a formality. So Tiano and Ruffs, LLC, 51 Mill Hill Road, Woodstock, New York, 12498. Would you like to speak?
I would. Not even as the owner of Castle Mountain Pizza, as somebody who's lived in town for the last 51 years. The zoning ordinance was written in order to protect us from that type of signage. The only reason we're here tonight is for the sign. I've had several businesses in Woodstock, and we've always had to adhere to what the sign, what they want is the sign of the size of the sign. Yes, the restaurant right here, Coca-Cola has put up some signs for us. I was talking with Bill, and I know they have to come down whenever he stops the moratorium. It's not that we're not going to do it. We'll take them down. And I feel that everybody else in town should conform to the sign ordinance. If they don't, then what's to stop every single one of us restaurant owners or anybody in town from painting the front of their buildings like that? If you grant it to one person, you can have to grant it to everybody in town. I just think the zoning law was written, and this part of the zoning law has got more pages than any other part of the zoning law, because they were trying to protect us from that type of signage. I find it offensive myself. I really do.
Okay, thank you. Any response? I mean, you can. You don't have to.
We don't have anything, you know.
If it's nothing further,
I mean, I would just say that we did paint the front, but our neighbors establishment next door, Brian, her son's into my bar oftentimes. And we've
I'm not
talked,
here
and
to talk about what my
there's-
son does.
Yeah, well, we're talking about signs.
No,
Let's not make it personal in any way.
No, not at all. I mean, it's just on your side, we look oftentimes at the graffiti that's there that hasn't been removed in 3 years. So I would just say,
I'm sorry,
I'm
but I'm
sorry to
only
be
here about
offended,
your
but
sign.
we really care
Your
about.
sign.
Oh.
I'm here about the sign.
All right, wait, okay, let's not go in this direction, okay? All right, I'm gonna shut that part down. I'm gonna read the rest of the list in case somebody's like leaning in the window and wants to speak, but I don't see anybody else. We have 42 Mill Hill Road, LLC, 42 Mill Hill Road, Woodstock, New York. William DeVoe, 7 Owen Lane, Woodstock, New York. And Ching Ya, oh, well, we know he's gone.
That's sold too.
What? Yes,
Also sold, yeah.
we know that. So,
Should that have been sent to the current owners, both of those?
I don't know.
We don't have the current donors. That's why I didn't send it on. I just left it as is.
Really, for Pro Moon that's been open all that time?
Oh, no, I know I did send them that. But
Does Shawu still own it?
They're not here. You did send them notice?
I did.
Okay, they're not here. Anybody else could speak too. There is nobody else here. So are there any other questions from the board right now?
No.
Anything else in closing that you haven't said that you'd like to?
Thank you all for your time. I know it's complicated right now to meet up, so we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you coming to us. And okay, so we have 62 days usually to render a decision. We try to do it in a couple of weeks. This one might be a little bit longer, but we will be working on it and discussing it. With that, I would like to close the public hearing for case number 21-20. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and with that, I would like to recess, Kate, unless, is there anything else the board would like to discuss about this at this time? I'm seeing no. So, okay, with that, I would like to recess case 21-20. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
so much. Thank you.
Just a few brief things before we head out here tonight. We do have I will not be here at the next meeting. So Michael,
Yes.
you'll be able to do it?
Yes.
Okay, so Michael will be running next meeting. I guess it'll be on Zoom.
Correct.
Okay, and
I'm sorry.
Hmm?
The next meeting will be on Zoom.
yeah, it'll be on Zoom, right? We're not coming.
Today's the last hybrid meeting. Moving forward, they're all going to be on Zoom.
For how, oh, I didn't realize that.
They extended it until, I believe, January 15th.
Is that a problem?
It's no problem. I just want to be prepared for it. That's
Yes,
all.
yeah.
I don't want to show up here and try to run a
Yeah.
Zoom meeting. That's all.
No, you just have to sign in.
No problem, yeah.
You
I'll
just
make
have to
sure I
sign in.
Sign in.
So
ahead
we
of time.
only have one case for next week, is that correct?
That's correct.
I don't think we'll probably be voting on this by next meeting, I'm just guessing. Okay, so we'll call that a safe assumption. So if you have the case for next week?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the hot tub, correct?
Yes.
I actually had a question for the board. The woman from the pizza place was saying, this is.
Well, we closed that,
I know, but
No, but I have to
has
open it
do
again.
with-
No,
It has
but,
to do with next week's.
oh, next week, okay. Go ahead.
So she was saying, this is the rule, and if you do it for one person, you have to do it for everyone. In the cases I looked at for the hot tub issue next week, I see that even though you're not supposed to have a hot tub or a pool in your front yard, there were cases where the variances were granted. So you could say that for every single case, right? Well, you granted one variance for a hot tub and a swimming pool in the front yard. You have to do it for everyone.
Well, then she wasn't a member of the West, that's one person speaking, that's just,
No, but I just wanted to clarify.
no.
Was that if I see variances that have been granted, then that shows me that you do make some exceptions.
That's why the 5 criteria are in place.
Right.
Okay. which I gave to Gordon to take a look at. I wrote it up already.
Because I believe in that other case that I sent you, Marcia, there was no other place to put the swimming pool, and that's why they actually granted that variance.
Right, we did one with a basketball court, where you're not allowed to have in the front yard, but the house is set back
Right.
600 feet. The basketball court was in the front yard, but the back was a complete slope.
Right.
So, yep.
So, you
I
know,
mean, I would just point out that, you know, once you do that, you then start looking at the character and placement and all the issues that, you know, without reopening it, Gordon, you were like, I just want to focus on the sign or the size or whatever.
no, I said for now, I wanted to bring it in. I said that the character of the neighborhood is a portion of the thing, but we were getting sidetracked into just that aspect of
I
it.
see. Okay.
I
Yeah.
want to bring it back to the signage. So
Right.
Trying to get into a kind of very subjective area.
I mean, a lot of the decisions we write are based on very individualized characteristics.
No, I agree, but we were going right there, and that's what this was becoming.
Right. Okay.
Become about that.
I
I
actually,
wanted to come from the other direction, and then that's one aspect of the criteria, but let's see, I mean, I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at, you know, I think I mentioned, you know, there is an aggregate issue here that I think we need to take into consideration. I think Jude's aware of that, right?
I have to talk to Ellen and Butch because I'm not even sure what they're asking.
Oh, yes, please do, and I'll do the same. You know, maybe.
I'm trying to understand. I mean, I'm looking at the pictures and trying to 28 minus 4, and I'm like, okay, please somebody break that down for me. I would like to go look at that hot tub situation because
I was just
I
gonna,
think Marcia probably has already seen it, but
I would love if everybody would go drive past because I thought it was gonna be pretty cut and dry, but it's a little complicated for my first case because first of all, it's catty corner to CVS. So that's and it's across the street from the Pearl Moon parking lot. So it's kind of not really the character of the rest of that neighborhood. It's right on the corner. And in the paperwork, they said this is the only place to put it. But I did notice that they have a deck behind the house that's all private and fenced. And I was wondering why they didn't, that would be the obvious place to put a hot tub. And so it is very visible. He said he's planted stuff around it, but it is visible from Sled Hill, Pine Grove, and the neighbor's house. So
it's already there.
it's there, yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, a hot tub, it's not like digging.
I would think if a variance was going to be granted, that it should have a condition that they put up more greenery or something to give privacy from the neighbors and people driving down the street. But I would love it if everybody else would take a look at it and give me feedback.
I would love to see it. And just as another, I mean, I'll look at it too. You think there's a safety issue involved? Like somebody walking down the street can hop in there and kid, for
Good
example?
point.
Yeah, is there not a fence around? I haven't
No
looked at
fence
it.
around
You
it.
don't have to fence off hot tubs.
I mean, I always like to go for safety first if it's an
Okay.
issue that's,
And it's on a corner lot, so it actually has 2 front yards also?
Well, they're saying that, but this is obviously the front yard. The front door is there. The side of the house has on Sled Hill, which is their address, has another entrance, but it's like that back deck that they built. So, but it, you know, they can say there's 2 front yards, but this is really the front yard.
Right. Well, the
Well,
town.
it's 2 front yards because of, from the front of the house forward, moving forward, that's considered 2 front yards.
Well, that's what he's saying, but it looked like a
No,
front,
the building inspector is saying that. The zoning enforcement officer is saying that.
yes.
that there's 2 front yards.
Correct.
On the roads are, if you have corner lot, it's 2 front yards.
Okay.
Okay. So did you make an appointment with a, because sometimes I just go by. You just drive, sometimes I just.
Oh, you can see it. It's very clear from the road.
All right.
Yeah, I was pulling out of CVS and I saw it and I thought, well, let me just drive by there.
Did you get another case?
No,
2120, 2121, that's it? There's not another one in the pipe, just this one?
yeah, 21, 22, that's it.
Okay. All right. So, Martin, you got a second, real quickly? Yeah, so,
Yeah.
that was fun, right?
It was fun.
Good. Yeah, that's a lively repartee. Yeah, so if you want to, you know, like we had, you can do as much work or as little as you like, really. But I guess it's good if you know the cases. That way, if you know we get shortchanged, you come into a meeting, you know what's going on. Because you know, right now you can participate and even take a case if you like, which would, you know, I would recommend if you're into, if you know this seems interesting to you and you want to stick around, take on, you know, give you an easy one like a shed or something. You know, just do the site visit. That way, you can present it all to the board and just give us your feeling. You just can't vote unless we don't have a quorum, and then you would vote. So that's really the only difference is you could be a full member of this board, participating member. It's just whether or not you get a vote.
Yeah.
But-
Well, yeah, sure. We can take it as it comes. I'm happy to take a case if you want to send it to me.
Or if you want to go ride shotgun on one first, you know, and then like Marcia did that with me on one on a solar array, and I think it was helpful to her to just get the feel of it real, you know, it's just like anything. Once you do it once, you go, oh yeah, I get this, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see the emails. I look at the cases, and it just so happens that I'm very familiar with the property with the case that's coming up next week. So, you know, I got the gist of what's happening, and you know, I'll keep up to date on the messages. I don't know if I'll make every meeting as an alternate, you
Right.
know.
Right.
So, but I'm here, and I'm happy to help in any way.
Yeah, you can always get a hold of me anytime you like, you know, if you don't have my number, I can get that to you too. And, you know, it's all good. So,
Good. Great.
thank you. Jude?
And if anybody wants the paper copies of the cases, just let me know. You can always stop into the office and pick them up.
Okay.
Okay, couple of things. One is when I got on the ZBA, I asked for a copy of the zoning law. I wanted a hard copy. Is that being provided to new members? Do you know? Joe, did you get one?
I did, yeah.
I don't have one. I think I do from one. I just go online myself. It's easier to search on there than it is going through a paper document.
Okay, the other thing was, Michelle, you sent us the lawsuit. Last week it was in my packet, or last meeting. I think that was dismissed. That was for the Nels Leader. It was in my packet. Maybe it was there from before.
That's probably been in there since
Okay.
pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
The only folder I clean out is Michael's because it gets too heavy and I don't want to carry it around.
All right, guys. Good luck next week and next 2 weeks from now, and then I'll see you in October.
Sounds good.
Excellent.
But of course, I'll be fully reachable. So
Great.
with that, I'd like to call for a adjournment for the meeting for tonight. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Ayes have it. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Right.
Right.
Bye, Michelle.
Bye.